All right, y'all. Yesterday I pulled a reading that felt a lot like stuff hitting the fan and social upheaval. Dude, this is like a continuation, is what I feel. But it's very positive, and I think we have some sort of helpful advice here in this reading. So, we're going to start with the overall energy here. So, we've got Seagull, which is about nurturing. And we've got the floating marshmallow, which is about resourcefulness or inspired action. So right now, we should be really spending our time trying to nurture, really spend time with, really pour our resources into being more resourceful, building up our own sort of resources right now, and taking the inspired actions that we know are necessary for our highest good, what we're really feeling called to do at this point. All right, in the center of this reading, we've got the plastic six-pack holder, right? This card is all about pausing and surrender, right? Just like our little squirrel friend can't seem to free the can from the six-pack, I feel like we've been kind of in a state of having to just kind of watch and wait and surrender to a lot of things that are just sort of outside of our control. All right, the big challenging aspect, though, is that our intuition, our sacred knowledge is nudging at us, all right? It's telling us something's afoot, all right? That just surrendering, just pausing isn't going to be enough here very soon. There's going to be a call to inspired action, all right? At the lowest polarity, we have the broom, cause and effect, and the rule of law. So there's been some disruption about the order of things, how the rule of law is supposed to operate. Also a disruption to cause and effect is what I'm feeling like. And this is something that I feel like people are just trying to wrap their head around, okay? And so there's been sort of this fear and anxiety building up in the recent past. We've got the flickering street light. And so this is where we just don't know what to expect. Like things just feel really uncertain. The light's going in, the light's going out. Sometimes things seem clear. Sometimes it feels like we're in the complete dark, okay? However, this is causing people to have to level up in their everyday lives, right? And that is sometimes how change occurs. So I feel like those listening, you have felt this inner calling, this call to kind of create and recreate yourself and create and recreate your life, right? And really it's been about sort of listening to that inner voice, right? That we got that challenge here and starting to learn how to really take the time to do that. And then also how to take the inspired action, right? Because that's what we're working on, nurturing the inspired action and resourcefulness. All right, so the empty nest here, you see this feather sort of falling into the nest, right? This is like a fresh start in a way. So this is someone that, literally maybe you're in the stage of life where you are an empty nester. It doesn't have to be though. More than that, I really feel like this is a situation where, maybe you had felt this calling earlier in life and it is just banging down your door a little right now. And so you're just really kind of hearing, oh, I kind of need to go back to doing what I felt really inspired to do way back when. And that's kind of, it's a feeling that feels kind of wild, right? Like you're being reborn, like you get to revisit something that means a lot to you, like a cause or maybe a passion, maybe a business. I don't know what it is exactly for you individually, but it's something that I feel like this is very much a collective energy, that this having to deal with this fear, this anxiety, this uncertainty is forcing you to go towards the things that really speak for your soul and to your soul. Y'all, in the upcoming future. This is not going to be easy, okay, with dumpster fire. This is not a thing that's going to be easy, but this is about upheaval and revelation that is necessary, all right? So just like we gotta get rid of the garbage, sometimes we have to kind of throw away the things that once were in our lives after a major revelation of what we need to do and how we need to move forward. So I'm just feeling a lot of disruption today and likely this week. So a lot of disruption coming up for us. So, but the overall energy here for the situation is it's pretty positive, right? Right now is a time for us to get into relationships with others that really align with us, for getting into community, let's say. The meatballs, the sauce, and the pasta all sort of working together as a community to form a really amazing dish. Okay. And so right now, I feel like that's sort of what you're being called to start really nurturing. That's part of the resources here and the inspired action that you're being encouraged to take at this time is to get into community that sort of speaks to that inner calling you've been feeling. Now, the advice is this is going to take a lot of pluck, okay? We've got the skunk or self-reliance here. So doing the things you can do that make you reliant on your own self are good things right now, okay? So this literally could be things like homesteading. I don't know for you if that's what you comes to mind for you. Or it can be literally about, if this is a business that you're wanting to start, like, going out and starting to talk to different banks about maybe getting that business loan. Or, if you've always wanted to really travel, like actually, getting in contact with a travel agent and trying to figure out what's going on there, and how they can help you. But also like just doing your own research a little bit too, okay? This is doing the things for yourself you are able to do for yourself and really making that a priority. I feel like, that really speaks to this resourcefulness and the nurturing of the resourcefulness and the overall energy. The advice is do what you can on your own to really build yourself up and head yourself in the direction you want to go in. Now, your biggest hopes and dreams, I think, are for opportunities. Now, of course, this skunk's just happy with what's right in front of him here. Opportunism. Oh, not opportunities. Sorry. All right. So opportunism. So I think as in hopes and dreams here, you got to take advantage of what presents itself to you at the time. All right. So that's kind of a scary thing though, right? We don't want to seem opportunistic. We don't want to seem like we're just going to take up whatever kind of presents itself, but it also can be kind of survival, right? We've got to kind of do what we have to do in order to survive things. But I am going to also read this as opportunities since I accidentally misread this. I feel like you're going to have plenty of opportunities presenting itself to you as well. For some reason, this really struck me as like a 7 of Cups, where, I think this is kind of like, don't worry, you're going to have options. And I think that message is sort of coming through because what happens in a reading kind of is meant to be part of the reading here. All right. So, but the overall outcome is really quite positive, right? We've got the litter of young, we've got vitality and success here. So I think this sort of building up of our resources and building up of community, I feel like this is something that's really going to be leading to your vitality, your success overall, and something that's going to allow you to have all these different opportunities, right? Allow you to move your life in a very positive direction. All right. So yeah, I feel like this is a tough road. I feel like this might have something to do with like stuff kind of hitting the fan right now. But I do feel like this is kind of your path to success. Your path to success is building up your resources, really nurturing that, being as self-reliant as you can, and really listening to that inner voice to kind of go after the things that really speak to your soul. All right, I hope this reading was helpful. If it was, please do give the video a like. Please subscribe to the channel. And thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you next time.